everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ny'Ea. If you've been here before, of course, welcome back. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, you already know what I'm about to ask. Even if you've never watched my videos before, this is YouTube, so you know what you gotta do before I continue anything else. I need you to what? Hit that subscribe button below, like, comment, whatever, but as long as you hit that subscribe button, then we are good to go. All right, so welcome everybody. Now, I did plan on making a video a couple days ago, but you know, life happens, gets in the way of things sometimes. You get busy. And speaking of life, I just got hired last week. So I am really excited about that, and I kind of want to talk about that a little bit and just kind of my life after college experience, because I did mention in my very first video that that was one of the things I was going to talk about. So I do want to talk about that because a lot of the people watching, I'm sure you all are still in school. Maybe you have your last semester, last year, whatever. I've been there. I was there like literally months ago. It was not that long ago. So I definitely want to talk about that and just kind of give people some reassurance. But anyway, so I got hired last week and I officially will be working full-time at Teen Hype in Detroit. So for those of you who don't know what Teen Hype is an inner city program. It focuses on the youth in DPS school districts. It's an after-school program, and it's also in partnership with some DPS schools. It's an educational and arts-based program. So pretty much it trains up the youth, the inner city youth, and tries to keep them from falling into risky behaviors such as, you know, substance abuse, domestic violence, pregnancy, and it uses the arts to show our youth that there are other ways. There are other ways that you can succeed. Where you come from is not the end of your story. You can make your own life. You can do something positive for your community. And so I'm just really honored to be working with that team. The program really does a lot for the youth in Detroit, but just to basically, you know, sum it up, it kind of describes just healthy lifestyles that our youth should be, you know, using to keep them out of trouble. And they have one production a year, which is based on some kind of social issue that our teens are facing today. So, you know me, I was very excited to hear about the fact that they put on plays and things like that. They also do a lot of really fun activities. Last week was my first week. I just did some training, got to know my coworkers who are really cool, pretty much the same age as me. They look like me, which you're not going to really find very often. So I'm very blessed to be working in such a fun and upbeat environment. And we did yoga, we went golfing, you know, I really got to know these people. So I'm very blessed to be in the position that I am in, and I'm very excited to start this journey. So I'll keep you all posted with that, you know, post pictures when we do outings and things like that. They're very active in the community. So I'm really excited to be working with them, as you can tell. But anyway, so life after college, you know, what does that look like? That looks different for every single person. You know, whether you were superly involved and active and had straight A's, or you were one of those people who kind of just stayed to yourself and, you know, kind of did things the way, you know, your own way. It looks different for everybody. And one thing I kind of had to realize, a tough pill that I had to swallow, was the fact that that piece of paper that you are working for 4 or 5 years towards getting, that degree, does not guarantee you anything. It does not guarantee you anything, okay? I realized that a lot of college students don't get jobs straight after graduation. In my mind, that's what I thought. That's what society made me think, that once you get that piece of paper, that's that golden ticket, and as soon as you get off that stage after graduation, boom, you got a job. No, not the reality of it at all. And I can speak to that myself. Now, over the summer, I was employed. I worked at my church summer camp just to kind of buy myself some time. I wasn't hearing anything back. I had been applying to jobs since October of my senior year. Now, keep in mind, it's May now. Cross the stage, have my degree in my hand, still don't have any callbacks from really none of these companies. So I worked at my church summer camp just to kind of buy myself some time, keep applying for stuff, until maybe I can line up an interview for after I'm done with the summer camp. So summer camp ends around like August 15th or something like that. And, I'm just like, okay, so I haven't heard anything. Let me just keep applying. I was a little worried. I genuinely was, because I was like, I don't really know when I'm going to get hired. But I had to keep in mind that, these things take time and people don't just get a job straight out of the gate. And I was discouraged. Honestly, I really was. And a week later, that's when Teen Hype reached out to me, said, hey, we received your application. We want you to come in and interview. So I'm like mind blown, because how did that timing just work out so perfectly for me? Literally the week after I finished my seasonal summer camp job, one of the other places that I applied to finally reached out to me. And keep in mind, I had applied to them maybe like 2 months ago, and I was finally hearing something back. So that just goes to show that things do take patience. Even if you don't get a yes right away, that doesn't necessarily mean no. You just have to wait and give things time. And I'm a very spiritual person. So for those of you who are believers, this is definitely for you. What's meant for you is for you, but you have to wait on God's timing. Everything doesn't just come when you want it to, because you're so focused looking over here at this opportunity. Oh, I'm supposed to have this. I feel entitled to this. But you can't even see that God has something better for you over here. And that's kind of how things went for me. I have a degree in broadcasting, a minor in theater. So most people, when they hear that, they think, oh, okay, you want to do news or something. And I realized very quickly when I first got to Central that I did not want to do news. It was too conservative. Sometimes it really brought my mood down. Some of the stories that were discussed, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't my style. And so it kind of discouraged me. And for a while, I thought all that broadcasting had to offer was news. But there's so much more that you can do with this degree. And I'm not going to go on and on about my specific degree. But this is just to let you know that even if you have a degree in one thing, you could very well get hired for a whole nother opportunity. But don't let that make you feel bad, because in the beginning I felt kind of bad. I'm like, I have not done any work in any news stations. I haven't really worked on any film sets. I've done a lot of theater, but that's my minor. My degree is in broadcasting, and I don't have that much experience in some of those things. And I kept getting job opportunities to work with youth, to teach the youth in the arts, to educate. And so I just decided to be open to that, because that's where God was leading me. And so that's really like my biggest message to you all. You might have a degree in social work or education or whatever, but you might end up somewhere totally different. And that's okay. Because the world is showing you, or God is showing you, whatever you believe in, there is a sign that's showing you this is where you're supposed to be. Even if it's not forever, you may not end up there for the rest of your life, but this is where you are supposed to be right now, today. So take that, be open, and you'll get to where you're supposed to be. Even if it really doesn't have anything to do with your degree, just take those opportunities and be open to them. Be open to change. And that's the biggest thing that I've had to learn about life after college. This time is a time for you to be very self-reflective. This is the first time that you are not in school. This is the first time in how many years that you don't have to go to class, you don't have to do homework, you don't have to write papers, you don't have the responsibility of school anymore. Your responsibility is on other things now, whether that's bills, finding a job, things like that. So now this time is for you to reflect on what you really love, what you really care about, and hone in on that. Do those personal projects that you never really gave yourself time for when you were in college. For example, for me, I've always been kind of interested in YouTube, but I didn't make any time for it because I was in school. I was taking 17 credits the semester before I graduated college. I wasn't thinking about making videos, too time consuming. But now all I have to worry about is going to work, and that's it. And I can give myself time to do these personal projects and things that make me happy. Spend time with the people that make you happy. Enjoy that time, because now your focus is elsewhere. You're going into adulthood. And it can be a very confusing stage, just like anything else, like going from preteen to being a full-blown teenager, going from being a teenager to an adult. It's weird. Like it's like, okay, you know, I'm grown now, but I might still live with my parents. I'm still trying to, you know, put money together. I don't have much to my name, but I'm an adult now and I can make, you know, more decisions on my own. So I believe that college gives you that pathway. It gives you those opportunities to knock on. Doesn't necessarily guarantee you the key to the door that you want to go through, but it gives you the opportunity to even go up to the door and knock at it and see what you get. You see what you get and you take that and enjoy it. So that's just kind of like my whole spiel on life after college. It really can be discouraging. I get that. There's still times where I look at other people, I compare my story to other people, but God put me on this earth for a different reason than the next person. So I am really learning to continue to reassure myself that I am here for a different purpose than the next person. I can't compare my story to theirs. And that's part of the reason why I kind of took a break on social media over the summer, because it was like the month of May. Okay, it was a big month for me. May 4th, I graduated. May 5th, it was my birthday, my 22nd birthday, threw a party. And that whole month I celebrated with my friends who were about to move out of town. They were going to have, big jobs. I have two friends who moved to Chicago. One works for LinkedIn. The other works for like a finance company. I have another friend who moved to California for the summer and worked for Pandora. My best friend, she moved to Houston to go to law school. And then there's me, Ny'Ea. I'm still in Michigan. I still live with my parents. I don't know where I'm about to work. I don't have this big fancy company to my name. And I was very happy for my friends. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a hating friend. But it was very discouraging because it was just like, so what am I supposed to be doing? What purpose do I have here? And I felt so entitled to something because in college, I was involved in everything you could think of. My last semester of college, I had a 3.8. So in my mind, I'm like, man, I have done some great stuff in school. I should have people blowing my phone up trying to get me to work for them. I felt entitled to that. But you are never promised anything in this life at the end of the day. No matter how many involvements you have, yes, networking can help you secure those jobs, but not all the time. That is not a guarantee. And the job that I got hired for, I didn't know any of those people going in. I didn't have any connections. That was the first job that I ever landed on my own, besides working at the mall, where I didn't know those people. I didn't have a network. I didn't have an advantage over anybody else. But I felt because I had this degree, I had these involvements, I had these grades, that was going to guarantee something, and it didn't. And God really showed me some signs and humbled me in that way. So just keep that in mind. You are never necessarily entitled to anything. Obviously, you have to work for what you want. And sometimes all those involvements may not necessarily mean as much in the real world, but that's not to discourage you and say that it won't help you in some kind of way. But you just got to remember that that piece of paper is not going to always promise you that gateway in. So remember those things. And even if it takes you longer than expected to get a job, you just keep working towards that. Keep working towards that. Find a side hustle to where you can still continue to make money, or just get some temporary job just to hold you over. But be encouraged that something will come. Something will come to you, and it's going to come at the right time. Now, for me, it came a little sooner than I expected. I thought that my wait period was going to be a lot longer, but it was only the summer. But that's because God already had something lined up for me at that time. But whether I would have had to wait the entire summer or the entire year, at the end of that waiting period, there was going to be something better for me waiting on that other end. And that's what I want all of you to know who are worried about what your next step is. It's December. You're about to graduate in December. You're about to graduate in May. You're freaking out. Your value is not placed in a job. Don't think that all of your self-worth is based on what kind of job you get. What is for you is for you, but you have so much value. Even if a lot of these employers don't see it, that's okay. Somebody will see it, or better yet, you'll start your own business and you won't be working for anybody, which is even better. So don't place all your value and self-worth in a job. That's something that I really had to learn. And even if I lost this job tomorrow, I would still have to remember that I am valuable. I do matter. I worked hard for this degree, and something good will come out of this at the time that is supposed to come. I can't rush these things. So that was a nice little tangent for me, but I just feel very passionate about this subject because I wish I would have had somebody tell me the things that I'm saying to you right now before I graduated college. I had this whole fairy tale thing wrapped up in my head, figured out. Nobody was talking about the depression that they got from time to time from not having a job right after graduation, the discouragement, the comparing themselves. And that's not to depress you all, but there is a reality that comes with that. If you don't have a job lined up after graduation, you will feel those feelings for a time. But you have to remember not to be stuck in that, but to use that time to grow and self-reflect and figure out what you really love and what you really value. And the right thing will come to you. I promise you that the right thing will come to you at the right time. So that's all I have for you guys. Like, comment below. Comment your success stories if you did just get a job, or whenever you end up landing a job that you really love or that you really like. You know, I want to know about those things. I want to hear those success stories. Make those posts. Be proud of your accomplishments. Even if you don't get that job right away, your value is not based on a job. It's not. The job is there to help you and elevate you, but your value always remains no matter what happens. So keep your head up, be encouraged, and finish strong, especially all my fellow Chips. Finish strong, guys. I know you got this. To all my friends who are still in school, I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. You're going to do amazing, amazing things. And I'm wishing you all nothing but the best. All right? Love you all, and I will talk to you next time.